Welcome to Ponchatoula Live, the show where we make it easy for you to connect with the people of Ponchatoula. I'm your host, Parker Layrisson, and today I have not one but two fantastic guests. These are people that are as fun as they come and educated and enlightened about nature in a way that very few people around here are. But they have a really kind of exciting focus to what they do, and that is snakes. This is the founding couple behind Louisiana Snake ID, Kevin and Rachel Hood. Kevin,
Hey,
Rachel, welcome to the show.
Hi,
thank you for
thanks.
having us.
Thank you for making the time to come here today. And it's kind of fun to be on the flip side of a kind of content creation, social media, because you guys have a much larger site than I do. Louisiana Snake ID, I think, has roughly 50,000 followers. You guys are on the news, the real news. I mean, Fox News, NBC, et cetera, not the local news. I mean, although you do that too. But it's exciting that you made time for us here because I know, you're juggling multiple jobs, you have multiple children, and life is busy. But before we get into Louisiana Snake ID and all that you do there, why don't we kick things off with you just telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right, I'll start, I guess. So I grew up in Baton Rouge, raised my whole life out there. We met when we were in high school. In 1995, we started dating, so we've been together for forever.
Hey, I'm a class of 95 boy, so I love it when you bring anytime we go back behind 2000, I get excited hearing about it. Right? I'm for this story.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. We've been married for 21 years now. Just made that, so it's
congratulations.
Been together forever, it seems. We moved out in this area. We moved out to Springfield in 15, just in time to flood in 16.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we
I hope not again in 18 because some people flooded twice back then. That's rough.
We've got a little bit in our back of our house in Ida. I mean,
Yeah, Ida brought some more, but
wow. Well, hey, I'm so glad y'all made it here because you brought something so dynamic to the area in Louisiana Snake ID. It's really exciting, especially for people like me who have kids who are interested in nature. But tell us a little bit. I mean, obviously y'all met young, you fell in love young, you've been together quite a long time. If you don't mind, and unless it embarrasses you, share your love story with us a little bit. That's something we've talked about a lot on this show is, the kind of meet cute aspect of it. Tell us about that, please.
Well, yeah. So we both used to bowl when we were younger. And we bowled at two different bowling alleys. We went to different schools, different churches. We had no way to have been able to meet except for bowling. We met at an annual tournament in Baton Rouge and just happened to bowl like next to each other. So the first words that he ever said to me were, "Hey, nice shot." Strike.
I love it.
Anyway, and then we kind of just parted ways. We liked each other, but didn't have any way to connect.
Right.
Cell phones back then, obviously.
Yeah, true. Yeah, this was pre-Facebook, folks. You had to work for it back then.
Yeah, that was in '94.
There were no apps. You had to go the old-fashioned way and work for it.
Our boys are like complaining, and I'm like, dude, you have like video calls with your girlfriend. We barely could talk on the phone. And so we actually didn't see each other for an entire year. We met up at the same tournament the next year, both feeling like the other one, there's no way, like he's not even gonna recognize me. I have braces, I cut my hair, whatever. But we did, we recognized each other. We were both looking for each other. He gave me his phone number.
Didn't call him.
And that's a little bit longer of a story how it took for him to find me. But because my parents were divorced, my mom didn't have my last name, so he called my dad's house from the phone book.
Oh wow! Wow.
He was like determined. He said, "It's been a full year. I'm not letting her get away again." So
now, did he come back with more game? I mean, did he bowl like a 99 the first year and a 250 the next year? He was looking forward to it. Clearly, what kind of work did he put in?
Yeah. He was showing off, bowling a little better, trying to be cool. but eventually, so my stepmom calls me and says, this boy is trying to get in touch with you. And I told him, I'm not giving my 14-year-old daughter's phone number out to some boy I don't know. So she calls me, I call him, and we started, going steady. I was 14. We couldn't date till I was 16. So, so we talked on the phone and kind of fell in love, just getting to know each other over the phone for about a year and a half, I guess. Yeah. And then we were finally able to go on a date. And so it was our wedding day was our 7-year and 7-month anniversary. So
that's really cool. My wife's really into dates, and so she would go bonkers for that. I remember when we were picking when we would get married, it was all about all these date connections, and that's really cool.
We actually started dating on December the 19th, and so we celebrated the 19th of every month for 7.5 years. So.
To share with you this affinity for dates, my wife, I didn't even know half birthdays were a thing. Okay. And my wife, she took it as such a sign when we realized that her birthday was my half birthday and vice versa.
Oh, wow.
I loved it as a clearly a fat boy who likes to eat. I get 2 cakes a year now, and half birthday cake, but that's cool. That's such a great story. And I can tell awesome. I'm so glad to hear a nice, wholesome, youthful church bowling story. Because my little church group from our Sunday school, the dads got together to bowl last week. And I felt like such an old fogey when I couldn't bowl with the guys because I had tennis elbow. And everybody's like, well, how'd you get hurt? And I don't know. I woke up one day, it's hurting. My
can't tell me. Just from existing.
Yeah. And I'm much older than some of the guys in the little group. So it was almost, I guess they say misery loves company. When they showed up Sunday, dragging their arm, first time in their life had a sore shoulder. I'm like, guys, wait till you're my age, But you could bowl all day, every day in those teenage years. Well, that's a really neat kind of meet cute story. Thank you for sharing it with us. So clearly, it's true love. Y'all meet at a very young age. It sounds like, Kevin, you got to wait 2 years until you can actually officially date her.
Right.
And then as you mentioned, 7 years, 7 months later, you get married. 7 times 3 is 21, and here we are all this time later. So I'm going to ask you in a bit about your boys, because we know that part of your presentation involves the boys. In fact, I think even maybe your YouTube. I know Louisiana Snake ID is your website and the name of your Facebook page, but your YouTube was it LA Snake Boys? Is that right, or something like that?
LA Snake Boys.
So you got these 2 boys. When do they come along? And in a bit, we'll kind of talk about where they fit in the mix with your program.
Yeah, so Kyler is 18. He works with me at the Nolan Man Pizza Truck.
Cool.
He's been running for 3 years, so it's fun getting to work with him and ride to work, to and from every day. That's unique. Landon is 15, but yeah, they've grown up in the snake life. You see the snake life hat, the shirt. They've grown up in that, and the passion and the whole page really started because of them. So it's pretty neat. It really is. It's pretty cool to go to the shows and to see them teaching the kids and interacting with the kids. And I trust them. They know more about snakes than most adults. So I always tell people that if they tell you what it is, that's what it's going to be more times than not. So they're very proud of them. And
and I love that they come with us. I love that. And they don't complain about it. Like they're not like, another show, They actually enjoy it. They love to watch the kids' faces light up when they get to touch a snake, so it's
awesome. They have a poise to them too, because for example, I remember watching you guys on Fox News, ABC, I can't remember which channel, but you were giving a really good presentation, and Kevin, you were kind of the lead speaker in that, but all of you had snakes. But as a 15-year-old kid, if you're not the guy getting to talk, some might say that could get boring, or you could see them fidgeting. I mean, the most 15-year-old kids I know could not stand with poise, especially with a snake wrapped around their neck or arm for 3 minutes, on live TV. But they do it, and they look like, they could be spokesmodels or just kind of standard TV performers, So it's really impressive to see them have that kind of, stature and poise at that age. I want to share here with a comment with you, and that is the great Benton Timms of State Farm Insurance. Here
Hey.
He says hi to the Hood family and me, and he says you guys are great guests, and he loves hearing about the way that you spread education on snakes. So Benton, thank you for that,
Yeah.
for sharing
Okay,
that.
thank
Appreciate it, buddy.
Benton is a
He's
former
awesome.
guest on the show who has an incredible story to tell, from God in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and much more. But just a heck of a nice guy. We're really grateful to have him
he's awesome.
chiming in and watching the show. But I want to use this as an example. Folks, we're here with the Hoods. That we're going to talk about Louisiana Snake ID in a bit, and they're going to tell us a ton about that. But as you can see, you have the ability to comment live on the program if you're watching us on Facebook in real time. So if you just want to say hi like Benton, if you have a question about snakes, anything positive, encouraging, feel free to put it here. So let's now kind of jump into Louisiana Snake ID. I'm going to post a link here. As you can see, our producer, Danny Lynn Dennis, has put in the notes a link to the website. And if you don't mind, I'm going to actually try my best. I'm kind of low tech, but sometimes I'm able to pull things up. And I'll put you guys here on the side. This is your website, right? Louisiana Snake ID. This is the link, I think, actually to the merch. And well, shit, I thought we had the merch site up. Let me see.
It's the top
here.
left corner where it says snake.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go home first. There we go. Oh, here we go. So this is Shop Your Gear. Let me see if I can get. Oh, it's a separate site. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it pulls up our
Okay.
apparel site. Yeah.
So this is your apparel site. I see you guys are wearing really killer, threads here. Tell us about this, and obviously we can go here, wearlouisiana.com. The links down below. Tell us about this. Who designs this? It looks like performance wear that would be great to take fishing or whatever.
It works great. It started out as a guy that went to. We both graduated from LSU. I worked at LSU for almost 15 years. And we always went to the games. We would come up with funny shirts for the LSU games. Game day shirts. We had the Beat Saban shirt, the Urban Meyer Wiener shirt, all different shirts. And we would get them made and then sell them. Well, then we decided at one point we'll figure out how to make them ourselves. So we started screening them in our kitchen, making shirts there. We did a shirt when Alabama lost to Auburn in a field goal with the last-minute field goal, and we made the shirt, put it up online, and I think we sold like 5,000 or 6,000 shirts, and it was crazy. It went viral, and like I said, we just started making them ourselves, and we still make shirts. It's where we started, and then I never saw snakes as being something to venture off from that, but I wanted to make the snake life kind of like the boot. Salt life you see all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a boot life shirt because we went from the like LSU and Saints game day shirts to Louisiana themed shirts. All of our shirts are they're all original designs. They're all Louisiana designs, and we love the state of Louisiana. I know it has its faults, people talk.
No, but it's great. The boot life, and it's a cool logo. Who designed that for you, Kevin?
I designed all the stuff.
You did that yourself.
All of them.
Yeah.
You married a man of many talents, Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it took me a little while
Very good.
here, guys. You see the gray in my beard. I'm getting kind of low tech, and I couldn't get it to follow the page I was on. But now we're going to kind of scroll through here. We talked off air before the show. I love this Copperhead Venom Saves Lives shirt. I've seen you wear it on TV before, and the story of how Copperhead Venom is used to save cancer victims. We share a history in that we have mothers who were survivors of breast cancer, as does our producer. Tell us about that. I mean, a little bit. We'll dig into other snake stuff, but that's something I didn't know until today. And so many people touch breast cancer and other cancers. It's really important. If you wouldn't mind, share that with us.
Absolutely. So one of the big aspects of our shows that we do with the libraries is we talk about the benefits of snakes all in general, but especially the venomous ones, because they get a bad reputation. People think, I need to protect my family by killing them. And you don't. We explain that, but most people don't realize the benefits that the venom has on us. And one of the big things is snake venom it has to get into our bloodstream to affect us in any way. And most of the diseases we fight, cancer and stuff, deals with our blood. So the copperhead venom, the protein in the venom, actually has been found through a lot of research. It's not official, it takes forever for stuff to make it to market, so to speak. But it's been found that the venom prevents the cancer cells from attaching to our blood cells, thus it doesn't allow it to replicate. So, and let it grow. So because of, people know that how venom works, they've done a lot of different things with that. High blood pressure medicine, a lot of it is derived from snake venom. If you have if you're on blood thinners and you need to have surgery, that's obviously a risk because you could bleed a lot. And there's medicines to slow the bleeding at surgical sites that's developed from snake venom. There's a lot of them. Usually I'll post like a list of like 25 ailments and then which venom is used to treat it. And it's just to raise that awareness because breast cancer, like you said, has touched almost everybody. Knows somebody with it. And
absolutely.
Hopefully one day it'll be something that we can rely on, that it gets through those stages. But the research has been very positive. Yeah. And it is being used in treatments, on what you call it, not experimental, but the test groups and stuff, So people are using it, and hopefully it'll get into the mainstream soon.
Well, and it's just remarkable when you find this intersection of nature and science and what we're able to do as humans to take this gift that God placed for us that we may not have even known was a gift. We might view it as a nuisance, a danger, and there it is to save lives. That's really neat. I love the Louisiana yard dog. It looks like old hard hat on that shirt.
Yeah, it does. I know. We're not from Ponchatoula, so I didn't know much about hard hat. It's neat that it kind of runs parallel to it.
Here's the one you got on.
The one I'm wearing today, right there.
Here are the Bama Hater stuff and Falcon. Lots of cool gear on here.
Thank you.
That's really neat. So, folks, we are here with Rachel and Kevin Hood, Louisiana Snake ID. And we're going to talk more about what they do. We shared a comment with Benton. I'll have another comment that's come in here from Tiffany Weber. And she says that her family has learned a lot from this great group of people. Before founding their page, she hated every snake. Tiffany, thank you for your candor. You're not alone in feeling that way. And I think in particular, Rachel, you've got a story to share about maybe being raised without snake awareness and facts. And would you mind telling us your journey on where you came from to where you are when it comes to snakes?
Definitely. It's actually a part of our show. We want to show people that you can overcome the fear through education, that our backgrounds when it comes to snakes are completely different, completely opposite. His mom was not scared of snakes, so they would catch little snakes in the yard, let them go. And that is not what happened in my family. I grew up, and I try to say, I didn't really actually know anything about snakes. I was just taught fear, and that's it. Like they're bad, they're evil, they're out to get us, just kill them all. That's it. Don't ask questions, doesn't matter what it is, just kill it because it's a snake. And I was fine with that. And then, like I said, we dated for so long, but it was never really a topic of conversation, didn't come up. I knew he wasn't scared of snakes, but okay, that didn't really matter until we got married and had kids.
And so then what happened? How'd that affect it? Whoops, sorry.
Yeah. Well, then he's teaching our kids like, oh yeah, snakes are cool. They're just another part of nature. We can coexist there. And I was like, what are you doing? Why are you telling them this? Eventually, Kyler, our oldest, he was about 5 and he wanted to get a pet snake. And I thought they were crazy because who in their right mind would ever want to put a snake in their house on purpose? Why would anybody do that?
There are a lot of mamas watching right now that are nodding with you. They feel you. They hear you.
I get that all the time. I can see the nods in the crowd like, that's right. No snake in my house. And so eventually, as I say, with enough sweet eyes from little Kyler and some smooth talking from Mr. Kevin, eventually I gave in. I said, it needs to go somewhere that I can't see it. I don't know it's there. I'm not feeding it. I'm not cleaning up after it. Just keep it over there. And I found out it really wasn't that bad. It was actually quiet. It didn't have hair all over the place. I didn't have to, it wasn't like pee on the floor like the dogs,
But still, that's a long way away from where you are today, where we see you on the evening news with a snake wrapped around you. Is that something that came about gradually, or was there kind of an aha moment where you got cuddly with them? How'd that transition happen?
It was kind of gradual, but when the switch flipped, it was like done. Now, he never thought that taking me to a reptile show would, cost us money or be an issue. But now, now we go and he's like, "Don't go to that table over there. That's not allowed. Maybe this."
Now he has to check the budget, ahead of time and give you a limit. That's cool.
Yes, because I tend to just walk by and fall in love with the snake, and I don't know how much it is. Doesn't matter. It's coming home with me. So now I have my own pet snake.
Well, if you won't mind, share that. I remember you had it wasn't a coral snake, but you had a snake named Coral. I can't remember what type.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got quite the collection that we've seen on your Facebook page or YouTube page, other sites like the news. Tell us, if you don't mind, about the snakes that you guys own and have owned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we have probably, it's usually like 25 to 30 is what we generally arrange. And we say it fluctuates because we rehab snakes that are injured. We freed a plain-bellied water snake that was stuck in landscape netting. It had been there for a few days. Somebody called us. We were doing a radio interview. We left the radio, went straight there, cut it free. Had some injuries, so we're trying to nurse it back. And I thought maybe it had a bunch of babies inside. It had 26 babies one day. So the number fluctuates, right? But we have
we
roughly
relocate.
25. Yeah, we relocate all the time.
So sometimes we have those there, but so we've got.
Do you have a favorite snake? Is it, I know with kids, you have two boys, you don't have a favorite son. And if you did, you wouldn't admit it on this show. But with snakes, do each of you have a favorite? Do they differ for,
Yeah, so the original snake is Chris, a corn snake. He comes to a lot of shows, and that's Kyler's the oldest. Landon has a ball python. He actually lost his original ball python in the flood in 16. He didn't survive the cold weather once we were rebuilding the house, and it was there. So he has a ball python that he calls PPJ, like Pascal Ball Jr. She has got a really gorgeous and expensive ball python. Mystique is hers. And then I have a big, reticulated python. She's about 12 foot. Her name's Tigers, but at the shows, I'm usually holding Athena. She's our Brazilian rainbow boa, and she's like the fan favorite just because she's gorgeous, and she's so nice. She's the one you see people with them around her neck and everything.
Now we have 3 of those: the rainbow boas, 2 corn snakes. So the snake that is named Coral, she is a corn snake. She's an albino corn snake.
Yes.
So her coloring is like a light orange and pinks. So coral colored. And so we have to specify that she is Coral the snake, not a coral snake. We actually got an email the other day, and she said, "I was there with my grandson and he held the coral snake. Can you tell me the name of the coral snake so that I can tell his mom?" And we were like, "Please don't tell his mother he held a coral snake."
That would get some attention. Yeah, that might not be safe, no matter how snake accepting and inclusive you are.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and that's another kind of joke, but it's 100% serious. That I had to draw a line somewhere on the snakes, and so my line is venomous. We don't have any venomous pets. We will not have venomous pets. In my house, in our house. If the boys have it in their house, whatever. But we do hope to have a bit like a snake facility, somewhere that people can come, a building with some land, where they can come and see the snakes.
To do for snakes what the Clee Bears have done for alligators, maybe.
Right. We may have some venomous there. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, let's talk. What do people misunderstand about snakes? So I want to get into debunking myths and educating. And obviously, we don't have your whole show here. People can go to your site for the deep dive details. But can you hit the basics of what people get wrong when it comes to snakes?
What's funny is I'll kind of tell people at the show, you're going to learn about snakes. You're going to learn a lot of the stuff you thought was true is not. And we kind of call ourselves like the Snake Mythbusters for anybody that remembers that show. A lot of the kids don't know what we're talking about, but the parents do. And oftentimes at the end of the show, most of the adults are like, literally everything I thought I knew about snakes was wrong. And so we kind of go through it. They're not out to get you. They're never going to chase you.
That's the big one.
A snake might come in your direction, but you could be between it and its home. You could be in a popular fishing area where people leave behind dead fish or injured fish when they take them off the hook and let it go. And snakes are smart enough to learn that, hey, there's going to be food here a lot of times, so I'm going to go check and see them, just come closer. I always tell people the snakes have nothing to gain and literally their lives to lose by catching a human, because they're not going to eat us. They're never going to think we're food, right? So that's one of the biggest myths.
Yeah, they're not mistaking us for a snack. We're more predators than afraid of those
I mean,
guys.
bites happen. Bites happen, but it's usually somebody steps on it, or somebody's grabbing it, or somebody's trying to kill it. And
we're invading their habitat, or maybe startling them, or something.
Well, and that's what I tell people too is that they see a bird in their yard, they say, oh, it's a bird in my yard. They see a squirrel, they see a rabbit, it's no big deal. But they see a snake, oh, there's a snake in my yard. It can't be in my yard. And I always try to tell people the shows that think about it. Your yard was once their habitat. Maybe not that exact snake, but its parents and down the line or whatever. We always joke, you go to sleep and then there's a Dollar General when you wake up in the morning that it used to be a field or woods. And it's about coexisting and realizing they're not there looking for you. They're just looking for food or a place to hide. You just happen to be there. And
I think the biggest thing for me since I was there was realizing that they are not being aggressive. They're being defensive. And so they can't growl like a dog, but if a dog is scared, they're going to growl and they're like, oh, don't look how scary I am. And so I think about, I talk about that with the moccasins when the water moccasins curl up and they open their mouths. They're really slow snakes. They can't get away very quickly. And so that's their only defense is now I used to see them as, I'm going to bite you. Now I see them as, look how scary I am. You should run away. Please run away.
So it just is like, the head, people think you can look at the head shape and tell what it is. You can't. We explain why that's not reliable. If the pupil shape is a way, we explain how pupils work and how you can't rely on that at the shows. And we literally go over
close enough to see the pupils up close. I don't,
Thank you. That's one of the things we do at our shows. We'll have one of our pet snakes, and I'm like, I'm going to pretend like I don't know what kind of snake this is. But my friend Bob said if the pupils are like a cat eye, then I can tell it's venomous. And I'm like, well, I can't see him from here. And I get closer and closer. And then I'm right next to the snake. And I ask the kids, is this smart to get this close to a snake? You don't know what it is. And they are, no. So it's to explain a lot of times through logic. They see it like, well, that doesn't even make sense when you think about it. So that's it. It's a perspective shift.
Those are excellent points. And we're going to talking a bit about where you do shows and how people can get you involved, from the library to the birthday party, et cetera. But before we go there, I've got a comment to post. And I was instructed before this show specifically to basically ban one person from commenting, but I'm low tech and snuck through, the great hacker that he is, Chef Matthias Rojo. Matthias, good to see you, a veteran of the show. He and the other Rachel, he like Kevin, they both married up to these beautiful Rachels, and they came on the show way back. Everybody knows Nola Mia. And of course, you two work together, Kevin. And he says, hi, guys, some of the hardest working people that he knows. He loves y'all. And he thanks me for being the host here. So good to hear from you, Chef. I know that means a lot because you and Kevin work closely, in the heat. Today, the heat's out there. It's really hot. You guys bring the heat wherever you go. You got a 70-degree oven that came from all the way across the Atlantic. But he also says that the two of you have helped him understand not to be afraid of snakes anymore.
Awesome. Yep.
And that's so important. And that's a lesson. My dad, when we were growing up, my dad was always an outdoorsman. For years, he was a wildlife agent. And so he did his best to teach us about venomous and not, and, growing up kind of in the swamps of Manchac and hunting the back deep woods of Mississippi and Louisiana. But it's important, this education. And I remember the state used to have a chart with all the different snakes on it. He had that for us kids. And that was cool. And another friend of mine has chimed on here to talk about your education, and that's Crystal Mayu Collins, who's like a super mom to 3 beautiful boys, and just great kids. They go to school with mine. But she says that the two of you are so cool, and they have learned so much from your page.
Awesome.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to share, if I can get it up here. I'm going to pull back up this here we go. Can I get this? Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing my best. I'm struggling here to try to put up the website, but I guess I've got the wrong.
Part of it.
I tried to get this. Okay, I'm off again. I thought I had the Snake Boys YouTube channel. I have failed at that, so I will cut that presentation off. Let me try one
Okay.
more thing because I want them to see your boys in action, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Oh,
let me see
definitely.
here. Here, I think I can get it. One more. Here we go. Here, if this doesn't work, I'll shut up and do something different. Okay, perfect.
Oh, there they
So
are.
here we go. This is
That's
the YouTube page for your sons, LA Snake Boys, and they look a lot smaller here
Yeah,
than the last
right.
time.
Yes.
I did not make the picture.
So I mean, clearly they've been, like y'all mentioned, doing this with you forever. But guys, check this out. You can get lost in a deep dive here. Y'all have, and your other site's got 50,000 followers. But to me, this is really cool. You got a ton of videos here. If you go to the videos, it's really neat. And one thing I saw here, I watched this video the other day. Those holes that we see in the ground that I always thought were snake holes. You show a cicada coming out of one. It's like just debunking myths, but exciting. So if you want to see a snake eating something, you got it. I think that was just your boys. You want to see your boys yanking snakes out of the water in some bayou? It's there. But I would encourage anybody, and we've got links to all of your stuff
Thank
in
you
the
so
show
much.
notes in the comments of our Facebook page. But check this stuff out. Comments are coming in here, and Brenda Fowler. Oh, this is your mom.
Oh, yep.
Miss Brenda.
That's my stepmom who called me
Oh,
to
the
tell me
stepmom,
that
okay.
Kevin was trying to get my phone number.
Well, I'm impressed, Miss Brenda, on several fronts. One, that you were protective of your stepdaughter and didn't just throw those digits out, because there were some wackos calling around in the 90s chasing girls. Trust me, no. I am one. Was one, but also that you took the time to call her and actually vet it and check it out. Some stepmoms would be, the evil stepmoms in the Disney movie would not do that.
Right.
No. She's the opposite. She's the opposite.
But I want to share her quote, especially for people that maybe listen by audio and can't read it here on the screen. She says that she is so proud of her daughter and son-in-law, and also her grandsons, and they love you very much. Ms. Brenda, thanks for watching then, for tuning in on the show, and for sharing that. Folks, we are, of course, here with Kevin and Rachel Hood. We're talking about LA Snake ID, all they do. Let's talk about how we can get the deep dive real stuff from you. Presentations I know happen all over, from the TV to birthday parties to the libraries. You guys travel all over the state with this. So if you don't mind, tell us about how the booking process works and where you are. And if you've got an upcoming event you want to plug, by all means, please do so.
Okay. Well, the best way to get in touch with us, I need to add that contact sheet to the website. I keep forgetting to do that. Is to contact us on Facebook, send us a message, and I can send you my email. Or, like I said, soon on the website, it'll be an email.
Eventually, it goes to email to actually plan out.
Because she handles all the booking stuff. So it is, we're always open. As long as it works with our work schedule, we try to fit in everything on, days that I'm off or Sundays, we try to do things like that for families, and birthday parties usually on Sundays. But yeah, we love the shows. Like I said, we've done a lot of libraries. We'd love to do schools. Our big push this year is maybe to start adding more schools. You do it in a gymnasium. We can meet wherever, and we can do it for a big group or a small group, homeschool groups. We just want to get the word out about snakes.
And one of the things that we've come across that we didn't really think about, but we've been asked about, the summer has been insane. So like everything has kind of just been like, when these library shows stop, then we can breathe and get back to you.
Yeah.
Right.
But one of the things that's come up that I didn't think about that's actually a really good idea is the police and sheriff and wildlife and fisheries and 911 EMS people, like all these people that a lot of times they don't really know a whole lot about snakes, or they're scared of them, or they'll end up killing them, or they just won't go out because that's not really like that's not what they do. Like that's what we do, right? And so we talked about, they've asked us, hey, would y'all come and like talk to us about how to handle them, how to relocate them, how to and I thought that's a really good idea, because who does that? They don't have like training for that. So that may be something we're kind of adding. If anybody's interested, I think that's
it's whatever we're down for. We did a show for a grand opening of a Firehouse Subs in Covington. Now, hey, when you come to the parking lot, we're like, oh sure, and we did it. And there were people in the parking lot, and
that's great.
So it's neat. Hopefully we get some big things coming up as far as shows. I got some big influencers that we're friends with. And we told them, I said, look,
Oh yeah.
we had
some videos.
31 library shows in June and July, and then we had we had daycares, we had birthday parties. And so it was like, let me just finish the summer. Yeah, so we're so glad we made it through. We survived.
You just need to get through it.
We have to get the merch back. Like, I'm like, hey, I got to go and actually count the inventory and see where we're at. Because I'm just like, here, this.
Look, you mentioned, Rachel, the email. I put up your Facebook page here because I noticed that if you go to it, your email is up there, louisianasnakeid@gmail.com. Yeah. And we'll try to put that in the Facebook comment too.
Perfect.
But so that's available there, and you mentioned other ways to contact you.
Yeah, I get texts on my phone all the time. I get emails, I get phone calls nonstop. It is we do everything we can to reply back to everybody quick because we know it's typically time sensitive for the snake's sake and for the person freaking out. So I've got people that help me. I mean, the page itself, I built it. It's all me. I have a couple guys that help with messages. But I also manage, like 15 other snake sites too. But it's just it's a passion that we're loving what's coming from it because like I said, we did the Advocate, the WWL, we're News Up North, and somebody just did a paper for us when we were up there in Montgomery and Colfax. It was a 4-hour drive, but we were like, hey, let's do it. And it's just because it's getting the word out. We talk about like being a voice for the voiceless, so to speak. You hear for other things, and snakes are the one animal in nature where people think it's okay to kill it first and then ask what it was after.
Yeah.
And that's why we started the page, because I would get pictures sent to us.
Yeah.
We moved to Springfield to get our boys in the swamp, to get them on land, and we were catching snakes and we knew what they were. Posting videos, posting pictures, and people learned that we were snake people. And they would send us pictures of snakes, but most of the time they were dead already. And the boys were like, well, they're asking what kind it is, just telling them it's dead.
They got to be so sad. I mean, snake lovers, it's tragic.
The boys would get really upset.
Yeah, so they were getting upset. So I started
like, just tell them it's a dead snake. It doesn't matter now.
Yeah. Well, so Kevin, clearly, you were the tip of the spear of this whole thing. I mean, Rachel spoke about kind of coming a long way, and talked about how you introduced.
Well,
for you, where does this all come from? Was there a mentor? Was there somebody who got you out in the swamp and educated you on this, or were you just curious?
I always grew up in nature. My dad and I used to go hunting and fishing all the time. And that's why people, you get the negative people that will pop up on the page and be like, call you. You're just wacko, and I was like, look, I hunt and fish. I have no problem with that, but I kill what I plan to eat. I don't just kill something for existence. Right. I don't like it. And but my mom is the reason that I like snakes, because like I said, we'd catch little earth snakes in the garden, and she wasn't scared, so I wasn't scared. So that's where the fascination began. And like I said, it was, you get a job and you work in here, and I'm driving LSU every day for 15 years, and I'm working here and there, and you kind of forget about some of the passions you have when you're stuck in that rut. And then when we moved out here, and the boys got to see snakes, and they're enjoying the snakes, and then kind of one of the first things I did, I worked for LSU for a long time, lost my job. One of the first things I did after losing my job was we had a bunch of kids over at our house for homeschool just to see our snakes, because we were like, oh, these people got snakes, let's go see the snakes. And that was the first ever snake show, quote unquote, that we did. And it was just a blast. It was neat. It was something I didn't know that people wanted to know stuff about that.
And I just want to tell you, kind of interrupt him. I try not to interrupt him.
Please do. No, we want to hear it.
So he had lost his job very unexpectedly. And that was like March. I don't know. This was like the summer. And these kids came over. It was probably 15 or 20 kids. And their parents, they just came to our house because they're our friends. We homeschool our boys, and it was people in that group. We always talk about the snakes. So they said, oh, we'd love to see them. So we said, well, let's do a field trip. Why don't you just come to the house? And so we did that. And he was trying to hold it together, but I could tell, because I've known him and we've been together almost 30 years, that I don't know that he was depressed. Like, I don't think he had gone, but he was definitely like, didn't really have he didn't have a job. He didn't know how he was going to provide. He was stressing about that. And so it was a really hard time for him. And when those kids, when they came to our house, just watching him talk to them about the snakes and their faces lit up, like I had never, in all the time that we had been together, I had never seen that kind of passion and joy in his face, in his stance, in his countenance. And I just knew, I was like, this is
You
what
knew
it
that was it.
is.
Yeah. He
This,
found his thing.
I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but this is what he needs to, I mean, he lit up like I had never seen before. And so I knew in that moment, and he told me later, he was like, man, that was really cool. Like, that was kind of neat. And, you know, so.
Well, what a blessing that such a frightening and probably, you know, low time turned into something so special, gave you that moment of clarity. Kevin, let's face it, as Matthias said earlier, you're a hardworking sucker. So if you have a job in that moment, there's probably next to no chance that you stop to kind of take it in, you know.
And it was a blessing too, a huge blessing that we ended up connecting with the Rose because
through that homeschool group.
Really?
And then he just happened to need somebody to work on the truck. I'd never done anything like that, so like, let's do it. And it just, we're 5 years
now
later.
They're family.
And it's family, so
you guys have been all over feeding the saints and everybody else. We got another comment here. Miss Veronica Mitchell Gregory says she's so proud of her hood crew.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Oh,
cool. So you got both moms on here.
Both moms, yes.
Very neat.
Lots
that's my mom.
Yes.
She will not. Landon got her to barely touch a snake the other day for the first time ever. I didn't physically see it, but they were so excited. I know that it really happened. And so
don't worry, Miss Veronica. All you're going to see are pictures and videos of snakes around here. You just get to see your beautiful daughter and your son-in-law on this show. we appreciate you tuning in. Well, clearly you guys have a passion for this. So you alluded to earlier the possibility of a future location. Where do you see the future taking you with this? Because it's clear that it evokes passion in the two of you, especially you, Kevin. But also you've seen a passion in your followers, right? I mean, you mentioned, man, Firehouse subs, 100 people in the parking lot are into it. 50,000 people are following your Facebook page almost, this thing's hit fire, 31 shows in 1 month, whatever. So clearly the demand is there for what you've got. You've got other careers and 2 sons and all. So, but where do you see it going? Do you have a vision? Do you know yet kind of what's next or what's around the curve?
I don't know what's next, obviously, because there's even this summer, we jumped from like 10, 15 shows last summer to 31 this one, all on Mondays and Tuesdays. So we're making sure, we had a couple that I had to get a couple people to work for me for a couple of days. Thankfully, Matthias and Rachel are awesome and let me fill in for that. But most of it was just Monday and Tuesday. So like this summer was basically, Monday,
birthdays, shows, work. Birthday shows.
Yeah,
work.
so you started to kind of catch my breath. I would love to have a facility like we talked about, where people can come and see the snakes, because it's kind of weird for them to come into the kitchen and the dining room of our house, strangers. People ask all the time, "Can we come see your snakes?" I'm like, it's literally in my kitchen, in my dining room and all over my house. So but maybe we'll have something soon. But I would love to find a piece of land or somewhere where we could have a place to relocate the snakes. We try to relocate them as close as possible, but sometimes it's not doable because all the neighborhoods popping up. So I would love a place similar to the, a man shack. They have the boardwalk. You can walk over there. Joyce. Something similar to that, where like you can see nature. Yeah, the Blue Bonnet Swamp in Baton Rouge. See nature in nature. Kind of not disturb it, but see it. I'd love to have a place like that, and then maybe have a facility there where people can come and see the reptiles and stuff like that. And it's
just be sure you start by educating your neighbors, because when
exactly. Although we've had our neighbors numerous times, come banging on the door because there's a snake in their house or something. So they know us. They know to reach out to us for sure.
That's so.
But
cool.
Hopefully someday we'll have something like that where people can come see and we're trying to stream it all over YouTube and all that fun stuff like the kids like to watch and
right. Well,
just teach people the positives about snakes.
We do want to be able to travel around the state and even around the country at some point, because a lot of things about snakes are just general. It doesn't have to be state specific all the time. But we do have a motor home actually from his parents, his childhood motor home that he traveled in to vacations. So we have that, but it's not running currently, and so we're trying to we want to get that up and running. We want to get it probably wrapped. With like snakes.
Snake mobile. That would be sweet.
Yeah, right.
And you mentioned going around the country. I mean, I know there are various snakes all over and the Western rattlers and all that, but the reality is we have a heck of a lot more snakes down here in the swamp than people do in other parts of the, so the novelty effect. I mean, you guys have tons of snakes I've never seen and only heard of when you don't. But the reality is we see a lot of snakes around here. But man, if I lived in, this other place, that
and
might
it's
really
good. If you see snakes, you have a healthy ecosystem. So that's what I'm trying to explain in our shows too. Like, you want to see snakes, and I'm trying to get together with a big hunting group to do a show because I hunt and fish, like I said. But one of the toughest groups for us to get through is a hunter and fisherman, which is surprising. Is they're so quick to just kill it and don't even worry about what it is. It was it was out in the woods. Like, you're hunting in the woods, dude. But to keep the pond that you're fishing in healthy, to keep the place that you're hunting healthy, you need the snakes to eat all the pests that spread the diseases and stuff like that. So we're trying to get into that, like dive into that. Next group is one that I really have a passion to get to. Like, I want to write a children's book that's got snake positive children's book. And because we do all the library shows, I like to have a book,
that's really neat.
Type thing. And it's a lot of ideas and stuff that are up here that I just gotta get out and do them. And it's encouraging when people send the messages like you see, or people send us the messages and say, hey, I relocated the snake. I would have killed it. I used to always kill snakes, and now I see them and I can coexist. And and that's most of the people on our page were people who were scared of snakes. It's not like a snake fan club I always joke about. A lot of times it's the higher percentage of women follow the site. I mean, it's probably my good looks, but it may have to do with the site. But no, a lot of people they've joined because they were scared. But through education, you overcome the fear, and that's why we do what we do. It's a public page, so you can share everything. Everything we share, you can download it and save it. We want you to, because I hate whenever somebody shares something from a private group and it says you can't see it if you're not in the group.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I made it a page, because that way it's literally anybody can share, anybody can join it. You don't have to go through a membership and all that stuff. And
well, you clearly have an abundance mindset where you're just like, even though what you have is worth money, and some people hide that behind paywalls and private sites, you're sharing it with the world and doing good because of that. And that's impressive. What else should people know about you? I mean, not just this topic, but the two of you. I mean, what else are y'all into? What do you have? It doesn't sound like you have time for many other hobbies, Kevin, as much as you work.
Right, like this summer, we told the boys going in, like, hey, buddies, like, just so you know, this summer's going to be wild. Like, we're going to find some time when the summer's done to do like a little trip or vacation or something. But it was literally every day, either doing, he said, birthday party, doing prep, doing the pizza truck, or doing shows. That's just like every day during the summer. It is what it is. We survived it. It was awesome. Man, we love spending time with our friends. We love to go out in nature when we can. That's one of the things, I was joking. I was like, man, I need to get a boat because we can take people like out on the boat catching snakes and let them see the snakes and stuff like that. Kind of like the gator tours, but with snakes. Yeah. But man, we just like to, we're lazy in the evenings, though. As lazy as you can be.
I have a hard time buying that. Tired, maybe. Lazy, nah, I don't see
it's
that.
Late. Like we're late lazy.
Until we get that phone call at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. There's a snake in my garage. Come get it.
Right. We do that, and that's another one of the things I want to raise money for with the foundation. Is if it's going to be a long trip to get to a snake, I hate to have to charge, but I can't. I'm not made of money, so I've got to pay for gas. I got to pay for this. I get it. I would love to. Because there are some times where I'm never going to not go get a snake because of it. Because of that. So I want to have that money raised for that as well.
Yeah. Well, we talked off the show. I'm happy to help you free of charge with that. I saw that with my Bikes for Kids Foundation. In 2016, I was giving away 5 bikes a summer. And I would just float that out of my bank account. Now, this summer and last summer, we gave away 50 bikes per summer.
That's awesome.
And when you scale, I can't put that many bikes together. I can't have you go and pick them up. I mean, I have to have some money to pay a kid to do it. And
Exactly.
A genuine charity helps do that. And then your friends who are donating can get tax deductions. It kind of benefits everybody.
Right. Well, and that's why we wanted to set up the foundation. And that's one of the things that's been kind of waiting until the summer gets done. We had talked about doing some sort of nonprofit foundation that's separate that people can donate to specifically towards our bigger goals and things that we've been talking about. And that way it can be tax deductible. It's a charitable donation.
Yeah.
And that way they're helping us out. So that's how we can help them out. And so we want to set it that way. Yeah.
Well, what you'll find is that, and it was several friends I've helped set this up with great charities like the one you're talking about. It helps the person give you more. You know, if you have a,
Right.
you may want to give money, but you can only afford this amount. But if it's tax deductible, you can afford that amount because Uncle Sam's not getting 40% of it or whatever.
Right.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
it's a great idea. I know we just got that out of Kevin, but Rachel, what about you? And what are you into when you're not, following the love of your life around handling snakes and doing all this?
I mean, that's a lot of what I do is we're taking care of the snakes, cleaning out enclosures,
Right.
emails and setting
Yeah, she handles
up
all that for
bookings
me.
and things like that. Just trying to keep the house in order because we are so busy that the house just gets cluttered. And so I'm currently the boys want to have their own room because they share a room. And so currently I'm like, okay, once I get each of them their own room, it's nice and clean and it's how they want it to be. It's not just a cluttered mess.
It sounds like hashtag mom life. That's what you're
Right?
dealing
Yes.
with.
Literally, exactly.
And I can relate. I remember sharing a room with my brother Bree, our chief of police, and we were dying to get out of there.
Right.
It's once we split up, we kind of missed each other from time to time. We'd rarely admit that, but
right.
that's great.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of hoping that maybe some time apart will help them get closer.
Yeah.
And so our oldest Kyler just graduated from high school. Like I said, he works for the pizza truck. He's gonna be working at the restaurant. And that's what he wants to do. And so now as a homeschool mom on top of momming. I have that a little bit less of that hat to wear. So just one kid left in school. And then it's hitting me that eventually in just a few years, eventually they're going to move out. And then I'm like, oh, we'll have like time together for just us again. What is that going to be like?
It's going to be a major change. I've seen my brothers go through that, and I'm not looking forward to that day with my boys.
I know, right?
Every
It's
minute.
I feel like I'm going to be so bored. I have a lot of stuff to do that can keep me busy. However, we have 2 dogs and 3 cats and cleaning out litter boxes and, snake enclosures. It's crazy.
You are living the Matt Damon movie, the part of it where he bought the zoo. You just don't know it yet.
We bought a zoo. And so I'm used to at least having Landon there with me. But eventually he's going to get a job or get married or something. It's just going to be me at home.
Well, and it may work out that in the grand scheme, the snake thing is what keeps them coming back, because y'all.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will say this. I'm
glad
you said that because probably my favorite thing I heard all summer doing all the shows and everything was Landon, the youngest, saying, "Man, I want to do this. Like I want to keep doing this. I want to do it myself." Cool. Like he's been doing some talking parts. He's the one that always talks on the interviews. Kyler's like, I'll just stand there, look cool.
Kyler's like, keep that microphone away from me.
Landon, give me the microphone here. But he's like, I want to do it. And he said, nothing is cooler than seeing those kids' faces and the smiles on their faces. And that just hit me. I was like, man, that's awesome. That, I want it to be something that it's a legacy that the boys continue. But I don't want to force it on them. I want it to be something they want to do. And to hear him say that was awesome because I said it was a tough summer. It was a busy summer for them too.
It's rewarding in a way that lets you know that all that blood, sweat, and tears to make it happen is worth it, right?
Yeah.
And on those lines, you can see Keith Gregory here. I'm taking that's your stepdad. He says our granddad. He says granddad's not scared of snakes, but Kyler scares the fish jumping out of his boat for snakes.
When they go fishing and Kyler will see a snake and he's like, oh sweet, and he'll jump out of the boat if he has to
and the fishing's done. Like, once the snake wrangler is swimming around. That's great. I love it. Well, Chef Matias stuck with us here till the end. He says you're a huge Saints LSU fan.
Oh yeah.
I kind of picked that up when I saw the Bama hating gear and the Falcon hating gear in the shirt section.
I have a feeling it's red and black. I don't do red and black, except for Matias. That was the original colors we started.
I was a little bit worried. I was like, I don't know if he can work with the red and black.
He's going to be out of there.
We fought through it, and hopefully we'll change colors. But we kind of moved away from it.
while we have Matthias on here, I just want to, tease. Of course, you guys are intimately familiar with the progress that's being made at the pizzeria. The rest of us just saw this phenomenal mural come up, and then this really cool sign on the front. But I do remember today, yesterday, sometime recently, getting a little sneak peek on,
today.
On the inside of the building, and I mean, the chandelier looks like a work of art, and
It's awesome.
detailing in the tile. I just can't wait. The crimp, it looked like crimp, ceilings. I'm so happy for Matthias and Rachel and all of you in that pizza family, because I've heard their story. You can check it out on the interview here on Facebook. It's a great one, like the two of yours, and to see that be coming so close to fruition,
it's getting there.
My heart, because
I wish I had a date, but it's getting there, and it's look,
We're ready.
Ponchatoula deserves it. They've treated us so well.
Yeah,
that we couldn't think of any other place to open up the restaurant. It was Ponchatoula.
And I want to let you guys know, my wife, my kids, and I recently went to Naples. We went to Italy this summer.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
My kids are Sicilian. We wanted them to see their Sicilian roots, but we went through Naples, the birthplace of pizza. We had the pizza over there. It was phenomenal, but let me tell you, the pizza at Nola Mia is on par with anything I've eaten, from Rome to Sicily and now Naples. You guys are dealing, it's a real deal. You're bringing over the real ingredients from the home country. You've got the real oven. And I can't wait to, if you can do that on 4 wheels, Lord knows what you can do in brick and mortar.
We can't wait. We can't wait for people to be able to eat the pizza straight, on the plate. Not have to put it in a box and all that stuff. Just to sit there and eat it fresh out the oven. It's going to be awesome. And the atmosphere is going to be awesome. It looks great. It's going to be family friendly. Yeah. We're all of us on the cruise got family. That's what we're all about. So, we're super looking forward to it. We're looking forward to being out of the heat. It's a little warm outside.
AC, like,
feels like we're in the oven this summer. Like Matthias is in the oven basically. I'm at the exhaust of the oven. But,
and that oven gets. I wasn't joking about 1,000 degrees. It's literally like that hot. And you don't have to. You're done chasing lightning bolts and whatnot that's out there. That'll be great for you. Well, look, I've kept you longer than I hoped, but under an hour as promised, we'll get you out of here. But before we go, Kevin, Rachel, is there anything else on your heart, on your mind, anything at all you want to share with our listeners and our viewers before we shut this down?
I would just say thank you for everybody that shares our stuff. This isn't what we saw us doing. We got asked if we would do a show in the library. We're like, I have no idea what that looks like, but we'll give it a shot. We'll bring some snakes. It was in Ponchatoula. That's why we were excited to do a Ponchatoula show this year, and that's when PBS was there filming it, because that's where it all started as far as the shows go. Our first library we did, and packed house as it was the first time, and it's like I said, it's exciting to see people's excitement about the snakes, because typically they're the almost like roaches of the regular animal.
They're viewed as the villain. I mean, from Adam and Eve till now, the serpent has not been portrayed well in history. Yes. So
we work really hard to overcome those myths, and we're appreciative of the support from people, especially for you having us on here to talk snakes. It seems like a weird topic to many people, I'm sure. But,
I've been looking forward to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for saying that. Rachel, do you want to add anything before we go?
I feel like there's such a deeper meaning for us that I don't know that it gets portrayed as much as, we try to, but it's almost like a surface level of the idea that, they're a part of nature. We're a part of nature and creation, and nature is a part of us. Like the idea of coexisting and the importance of the ecosystems working together, and to have fear, and that fear is just a level of life that you don't want to live in. Anytime you can overcome a fear, you feel confident, like you've achieved something. And when you can replace fear with love, to me, there's not a greater superpower than to be able to replace fear with love, and for people to be able to appreciate a part of nature, like you said, with birds and squirrels and turtles, and it's like, oh, look how cute they're, and the poor snakes just they just get that bad rap. And so I'm like, oh, please, like, they're not bad, and so I feel like it's just, there's this deeper passion to expel fear.
Yeah.
And
And
replace it
it's
with
about
love.
facts. It's about just getting the facts out
Yeah.
there. You
Right.
look at all these injustices of the world; they're not all created equal. But it's kind of like,
Right.
how much has racism, been lessened by just the facts,
Exactly.
having white people exposed to black people and realizing, oh, this crap people are telling
Exactly.
me is not true. It's like you just
Right.
sometimes
The
you just have to break
perspective
down
shift.
barriers and see for yourself. And
Yeah.
Right.
learning is in the name of the game, right? And there's no way
Right.
better
Right.
to learn than experience. And you're bringing that into libraries and into Firehouse Subs and wherever you go.
Right.
So
Whatever it
it's
takes,
really
man.
cool.
Whatever it takes.
Exactly.
I want to thank the two of you. You have been very generous with your time. And as we've learned, you don't have a lot of free time this summer. And so I'm really grateful for that. Matthias is going to close us out here with a really kind remark to say thanks. And
Yeah.
I share this thought that you're telling me, Matthias. We love your family, your business, and all this gang. And we have part of your extended family and business here with us today. So there you have it, folks. Kevin and Rachel Hood. This show has lived up to the hype. Two incredible people with an incredible story that are doing really amazing things with nature. If you enjoy Ponchatoula Live, if you want more of this, if you want more great guests like these two, we are available as a podcast wherever you get podcasts: Spotify, Apple, Google, you name it. And of course, we're here on social live on Facebook, Twitter. I think we're now even on LinkedIn Live. So wherever you consume this, we just have one ask: like us if you can, follow us if you can, help us in the algorithm, get more of this good stuff out there. We're a local show. We don't have money or sponsors or any of that. And you would just help us. So thank you all. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday. Take care.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.